Do you have an air ambulance card? Well, I now do. Realizing what your company provides, I always thought when I traveled I would have flight insurance, baggage insurance. Incidentally, this is Atticus Rominger of Air Ambulance Card. I always had that type of insurance, but I never realized that one really needs emergency medical evacuation insurance.
Ernie, we like to think of it kind of as like an auto club for your body. If you're injured 150 miles or more from home, or you become sick and you wind up in a hospital, we're going to fly you back to the hospital of your choice in the U.S. or Canada, and it doesn't cost you any more than your annual membership.
You mentioned the hospital of your choice. I don't know if people realize, but you realize this once you have a need for it, that if you're ill, get into a traffic accident, you're in whatever the country may be, you're now in need of emergency medical evacuation. Other cards and other plans, credit cards, don't provide that airlifting of you from that location to a hospital of your choice. But this is what the Air Ambulance Card provides to its members and to its member family.
Ernie, even when we're talking to travel professionals here, the first thing they say is, I'm covered by my credit card, or, I'm covered by my typical travel insurance policy. And the truth is that those policies come with exclusions, and they come with special clauses, and you have to read the fine print. Air Ambulance Card has none of those exclusions. We have no fine print. Everything's right there on the website before you buy the policy, and we are the policy that will bring you home in an emergency.
And the cost, let's get it right up front because you're so open with this. For an individual, it's around $200.
$195 for an individual, $295 for a family member. We also have an amazing referral rebate program. So essentially, you go on our website, you send a link to a friend who's going to be traveling with you or who travels a lot, and if they sign up, we send you a $30 check. We send them a $30 check. We have people who've actually earned back the cost of their memberships just by referring it out to friends.
In reading on your website, you have testimonials, and that really brought it to home of a person who, if they would have had to pay for the cost of being medically evacuated back to the United States, the cost would have been $130,000.
It's staggering, and those are costs that have to be paid in front, in cash, before you ever step foot on the plane. Domestically, we're talking about more than $10,000 for one of these flights. An international flight, over $100,000 easily. Our members pay nothing more than their yearly membership fee if they call on us to transport them.
Important point that I want our viewers to know, because someone is probably saying, how could it cost $195 and you provide that level of protection? You guys are underwritten by Lloyd's of London.
We're backed by Lloyd's of London, probably the most recognized name in insurance worldwide, so you are going to be covered. There's never going to be a shortage. We're here for you.
Let's talk about the medical staff that accompanies. So you're in a foreign country. Unfortunately, you break your back. You need to be airlifted out, brought back to your hospital, the doctor of your choice in the United States. How does it all work, and how quickly does it work?
It really happens from the moment that we get a phone call, we spring into action. You have a card. It's called Air Ambulance Card. It's in your wallet. You pull it out and call the number on the back. From there, we have our medical staff in contact with the medical staff in the hospital where you are, in contact with the hospital where you want to go and the medical staff there. Those doctors are talking to each other, finding out, making sure that you're safe to travel, making sure that there's a bed for you when you get here, and figuring out what's the best protocol to get you there. Then we send what is essentially a dedicated flying ICU to pick you up. It's an aircraft that is all the time outfitted for transporting medical patients, and it could be a jet if it's a far distance. It could be a smaller plane if it's just within the next state or so. But the crew and the equipment that we send is determined by the condition of the patient and what they need to keep them safe and comfortable during the flight.
And Atticus, your crew, your pilots, the medical staff that's on board are all accredited, certified, because you're dealing with sick patients who every moment counts.
They're not only accredited and certified for the countries in which they're operating, they're accredited and certified to operate in the United States. So if you are in Southeast Asia, you're going to get a crew that is accredited and certified to fly into and operate and provide medical care within the United States.
There have been a number of articles, and your company is prominent for delivering the top service in this field, and I heartily recommend it to all of our viewers. Air Ambulance Card for $195 for an individual, $295 for a family. I think I read a family of 5?
Yeah, up to 5, and that includes dependent children if they're in school up to the age of 22. And after that, we have some pretty aggressive policies for keeping those folks as lifetime members. This is not a one-trip thing. This is something that people really need to be covered for the rest of their lives.
And it's internal to the United States just as well as external.
It's for U.S. and Canadian residents, and we will cover you if you're injured and wind up in a hospital 150 miles or more from home within the U.S. or around the world. Ernie, a perfect example of what we're talking about is a member that we transported home from Brazil. She was in a hotel in the rainforest. She slipped on a wet floor in the hotel on her way to breakfast. She broke her knee. She wanted to come home for surgery. She needed to come home from surgery. We dispatched a plane down there to pick her up, flew her home to Colorado, didn't cost her a dime more than her annual membership. That flight would have cost her more than $50,000 out of pocket, and she would have had to pay it before she even stepped foot on that plane. Another example of how this can work, and especially in a far-flung location, one of our members was traveling in Costa Rica. She was sliding down a waterfall. She broke her back. An amazing feat of strength for this woman. She had to be carried out of the ravine. She got on a zip line with a broken back and was taken to what passed for a ground ambulance, which took her on a bumpy road to what passed for a hospital. Imagine how thrilled she was to see these U.S. pilots walking in with U.S. flags on their shoulders. She says it was the most amazing feeling that she's ever felt in her life. She was flown home to North Carolina, where she was treated by family doctors and cared to by family and friends.
Atticus, walk us through the membership process. Our viewers would log on at airambulancecard.com.
Airambulancecard.com, and the process really couldn't be simpler. It's a quick sign-up form. You enter your information, you enter your credit card information, and you are covered the second that credit card is processed.
The second, no medical examinations.
No medical exam, no medical requirements, and we have people who sign up at the gate from their laptop as they're about to leave. We have people who call us from their trip and say, I meant to do this before I left. They're covered the second we process their payment.
Atticus, well worth it.
Absolutely. Thank you.